Okay, all right. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining us today. It's kind of nice with the weather we're, I think, about to have that we can all do this via Zoom and make it a little bit easier for everybody. So we're just going to go through the different opportunities that we have available. And then at the end, we'll see if anybody has any questions. I'm going to start off with a couple new opportunities that we're offering this year. And then Julie with Belter and Lincoln, she's on the call here. She's going to jump in and she's going to talk about some of our market and media trends, and then go through some of our digital offerings. And then we'll wrap up and I'll talk about web, newsletter, and video offerings as well. So for those of you that have done this co-op program in the past, you'll see some things that we've offered before, but we're pretty excited about some of the new stuff too. So we'll jump right in. For those of you that are not as familiar with the program, the primary objective of our co-op advertising program is to offer efficient but targeted options to help meet business objectives, drive traffic to your business, and offer options that really target consumers when and where they're planning their trip to Door County. The co-op partnership program is built to help maximize the value of your marketing dollar and hopefully offering opportunities that may be otherwise budgetarily unachievable for you. It also serves as to offer new ad opportunities with a little bit less risk having to do that outside of your own program. We do utilize research and travel trends when we're putting together the media strategy. And then we take a look at that and see how we can effectively offer some co-op opportunities to our partners. We do geo-targeting as well, which is offered to reach key Door County markets through the program. So all advertising opportunities are managed by Destination Door County. And then I, Laura Bradley, the Senior Marketing and Sales Manager here, I will be your primary point of contact. So if you ever have any questions initially with the launch of the program, or even 6 months from now when you decide that you want to sign up for some additional opportunities, I'll be that point of contact for you. So we're going to jump right into our first new opportunity for 2022. So with everything becoming a lot more visual these days, and just that real need for high quality visual representation of your business and your brand, we really wanted to offer an opportunity to partner with a local professional photographer. So we decided to connect with Dan Eggert, who is the local photographer. And then offer the opportunity for him to come and shoot at your business and get interior and exterior shots so you can either start a photo library if you don't have one, or if you know that you need to kind of update and revamp your visuals, this is a great opportunity to do that. So I'll go through some of the basic package information. So you can have up to, with the basic business photo package, it includes up to 15 photos. And this would be any combination of interior and exterior photos, up to 5 aerial photos captured with the drone, and then up to 1.5 hours of shoot time. So that's the basic photo package, and that is a partner investment of $350. It's a really great opportunity. Like I said, if you've kind of been waiting to figure out how to set up a photo shoot or didn't know who to reach out to, this is a really great way to kind of get that ball rolling.
What?
We also,
shout out you got from Andy.
We also, if you just want to make sure that you've got yourself on mute, thank you. And then we also have 2 add-ons for this particular opportunity. Option 1 is if you want more than 15, you can do up to 15 additional photos. For $325, or if you want to do additional drone, you can do 15 aerial photos for option 2. Both of those add-ons are $325. Just keeping in mind that you do need to purchase that business photo package up front. You can't do the add-ons individually, so you do need to purchase that first basic photo package first. And then in terms of additional information, the digital photo assets will be delivered to you via an online link, which Dan would provide to you. Those photo assets will be delivered to you within 2 weeks of the shoot date. All the photos must be captured during a one-time visit to the business, and it will be limited to a single location. And so what you'll do is when you sign up, you'll indicate your preferred week that you want to have this particular photo shoot. And once you send that to me, then you will work with Dan to determine the day and the time of the shoot and make sure that works for both of your schedules. We are limiting to the partners to one shoot per season. In terms of invoicing, all of the invoicing will come from us here at DDC, so that you won't get, an invoice from Dan and a part of an invoice from us. It'll all come from one place. And one of the things I do want to point out is that we here at DDC, we will also have access to all of these photos that Dan is capturing for you with non-exclusive usage rights. The usage can include destination guide, social media, website, newsletter. So one of the little added benefits of this is the additional exposure this could get your business. So say if we need a photo to highlight lodging in our destination guide, we may use one of the photos that Dan has captured at one of the local lodging properties. If we need to add a header image onto our website, that's another way that we can use these photos. So you would potentially have that additional exposure with us having usage rights as well. So we're really excited to be offering this because I know that through the co-op program, I've talked to a lot of partners that continue to use a lot of the same photos and really want to kind of change things up. And maybe if you've been hesitating to take this next step to get a photo shoot set up, this is a pretty hassle-free way to do it. So really, I'll take care of the front end stuff, and then I will connect you with Dan and make sure that you work out the details of the shoot. So very excited to be partnering with Dan and offering this to our partners. And then moving into the Cabin podcast. So I'm really excited to be offering an opportunity that is in the podcast space. As we all know, podcasts have become incredibly popular. And I know personally, when you find a podcast that you really like, you become really loyal to those particular ones. So we reached out to Discover Wisconsin, and they have added a podcast component to what they do. So the Cabin podcast is produced by the crew that brings you the nation's longest running tourism TV show, Discover Wisconsin. And what they have is their Cabin podcast has their regularly scheduled podcasts that they do, and then they have bonus episodes. So we decided to offer our partners the chance to be a part of a bonus episode. And what that is it would feature Door County and a maximum of 4 participating businesses. And the length of those podcasts is approximately 30 minutes. So it's really tailored to the partners that are involved, and it's a very focused 30 minutes that they really focus on Door County and the businesses that are a part of it. I did throw in a couple numbers here. The average number of downloads for these bonus episodes is 3,300. You can see the top listeners by state, Wisconsin, of course, being number 1, followed by Illinois, Minnesota, and Iowa. And you can see also the top listening methods to get to this podcast. As far as air date goes, that will be established once we determine who those 4 partners are going to and just see what works for them collectively. When it comes to promotion of the podcast, Discover Wisconsin will be sharing the podcast on their social channels, and they'll also be sharing it via their newsletter, which they have about 35,000 subscribers. And then we will double up on that promotion, and we will also share on our social channels. And then we will also feature the podcast in one of our monthly e-newsletters that we send out, and that goes out to about 230,000 subscribers. So the partner investment for that is $1,000. And really the way that this is going to work, if you're thinking you have to, talk on the podcast, that's not necessarily how that will go. What it means is we will set up a creative meeting, and it will include the podcast producers, myself, and some colleagues here at DDC. And then the partners that are participating, and we'll have that creative meeting to discuss details of each of the businesses, establish certain talking points, and even establish a bit of a theme so that the entire episode is pretty cohesive. And once we establish all that, the producers will take that information and they'll just figure out a way to fill the airwaves for 30 minutes and talk about your businesses in Door County. So, and the only other component is submitting high-res photos. And of course, we will use those in order to promote the podcast ahead of time. So like I said, new for 2022, really excited to be in the podcast space. So certainly take a look at that if you're interested. All right, and then I'm gonna send it over to Julie, and she's gonna talk market and media trends and then also our digital offerings.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Laura, thumbs up, you can hear me? Okay. I'm Julie, I work at Belter Lincoln and we are the ad agency for DDC and help them execute a lot of these digital campaigns through the co-op program. So before we get into what the offerings are, I just want to go over some trends so that I guess you can better understand why we choose the offerings we choose to offer you, and that it's based on media trends and research. So a lot of, actually all of the programs are geo-targeted to key DDC markets, and we use a lot of different research to look at what those markets are, whether it's Google Analytics or Arrivalist. It's really important that we're continuing to advertise in these markets that make the most sense and have an ROI, especially for a local business. So we do continue to see that the top overnight markets are Milwaukee, Chicago, and Madison. Minneapolis also falls in there as well. And Green Bay Appleton is a top market, but what we're seeing now through some Arrivalist data is that the majority of the trips coming from that market are day trips. And that's not a bad thing. It's just a really good piece of information to have, because as a business owner, perhaps you were only doing things in the county. You have a restaurant or a shop, and you didn't feel the need to be, marketing in Chicago, and that's fine. But Green Bay Appleton might be a market that you would consider for your business if you are more of a day trip and not a lodging partner. So we'll lay out what all the target markets are for each of the offerings as we get into those. As far as media trends, I don't think anyone's going to be surprised by any of this or by this chart below, but basically the majority of our time is now spent on digital devices. It used to be television was, where everyone spent their time, and obviously that all changed in 2020, and we're really just not seeing a huge comeback. The other great thing about digital is that it's so much more affordable than some of the more traditional media, and it's so much more targeted. So there's a lot of great benefits. We can see here, obviously, time on smartphones is huge. So a lot of what we're offering will be mobile, but we will definitely include these other devices as well. I think you have control, right, Laura? So for those of you who have been to these meetings in the past, this is something we've been offering. We've had some good participation, really great results. So we want to keep offering it. So this is a programmatic digital ad campaign. And that's a lot of fancy words. So I'll kind of break it down. So programmatic digital, I guess, means we're not buying impressions on one specific site. We're not going to weather.com and saying we want 100,000 impressions. What we're doing is we're using software and data to buy impressions, and that's how we're bidding on them. So impressions can serve across thousands of sites that we deem brand safe. We have obviously a list of sites that we wouldn't want to put any of your businesses on, but we're really looking at data, and it doesn't necessarily matter to me if our target person is on ESPN.com or HGTV.com. If we can identify that that's someone who would be interested in coming to Door County. The digital part of this piece is banner ads or video ads. So banner ads meaning like your traditional 300 by 250 or your 728 by 90. You can see all the different sizes listed there. But we also offer a video package. And as a lot of you know, video is consuming people's time so much more now, and not just on connected televisions, but also on mobile devices. So all of these websites have a video component in some way, whether it's in the article or there's a video of their own and it's a pre-roll ad. So the way we target, the most kind of basic package is this first piece on top where it says mobile and desktop audience targeting. So this is just like the first tier of targeting, which is all really great. And we include retargeting, and we retarget people who have visited doorcounty.com. And we also retarget their email list, which Laura mentioned is a huge list. And it's really great that they have all this first party data that you guys are able to tap into, because it's likely that your business doesn't have the scale that DDC does, right? That you don't have an email list over 200,000 and the number of site visitors that they get. So we're trying to leverage that for the businesses and for you to tap into, because if people are visiting their website and on their email list, either they're familiar with Door County already, or they're planning a trip, or they just have the baseline interest. We also then take that first party data and we model off of it. So we create a lookalike audience, and the data informs us to target people who are similar to Door County's current travelers. So it's just another way to extend reach to people who perhaps haven't been to Door County or aren't on the email list, but have similar attributes to your current customers. So that's just kind of the baseline. If you choose no other targeting, that's who we target. However, we can also add in, at no additional cost, other targeting options. So if you know more about your business and think, well, yep, I want to target foodies, that's really important to me, that's another data component we can lay in. Some of the other ones here are people who are adventurous or outdoorsy, people looking for a romantic getaway, arts and culture, families, and then obviously, like I mentioned, general would just be what I talked about first, the retargeting and the lookalike targeting. So you can just choose general if that's what you want, and that's fine. And then the geo-targeting for this would include Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, Green Bay, Appleton, and Madison markets. That's one option. If you don't want to go out that far because your business, it doesn't make sense for you, you can just target Door County and Green Bay. So if you are more of a day trip kind of business and that makes more sense, that's an option too. So basically you would just kind of go through this list and say, do I want the general package or do I want something more targeted? What markets do I want to target? And then do I just want to do banner ads or do I want to do video? And then you can see the different costs for each of the packages. We also tiered the display banner ad packages for full market into 2 different impression levels. So for about 200,000 impressions, you can see the cost is $1,276. If you want to run more impressions in that 2-week period, it's a little bit more money. And these are unlimited. You can run these throughout the year. You can pick 1 2-week campaign and run it once. And then at the end, we do send over to Laura the performance. So we show impressions and clicks and click-through rate, and then we provide like a screenshot to show your ad on a website. Okay, so similar to the display and the video, similar targeting, similar markets, just a different ad unit is the native digital ad campaign. So we do all the same things that we do with the banners in the video when it comes to the targeting options and the geo-targeting, except that your ad is a native ad. And a native ad is an ad that is supposed to look like the content of the website that it's on. It shouldn't be as obvious that it's an ad. You likely see these a lot as you're scrolling through things, and it's typically an image, a headline, and some copy. And it is kind of baked into the website that it's on. The good thing about these is that they do have a really great click-through rate, but it's also less creative needed really, because if you don't want to produce 8 different static JPEGs to run banners, or you don't have a video that you would run, but you have some images and you can write some copy, and I know Laura likes to help with that too. This is a really easy way to target the right people, and have, you know, that reach, but you know, it's the creative process is very, very easy. So you can see all the different targeting that you would choose again. And then it's a 2-week campaign, and there's just 2 different impression levels. So there's 250,000 impressions, and there's that cost. And then if you wanted to run 300,000 impressions, it's a little bit more. And then below that, you can also see just the specs that we would need. So again, it's, you know, image, logo, short description, long description, and the character limits on all of those. So pretty simple. Okay, something new when it comes to the digital offerings for 2022 is digital audio. So this is exciting because we are able to buy this programmatically as well, meaning we buy based on data points. So we're not limiting it to just Pandora or just Spotify or just iHeart. It's impressions served across many platforms, as long as we're serving it to who we identify as the right person. So these impressions would serve on mobile, desktop, smart speakers. These are 2-week campaigns, and it requires a 30-second spot, and then 2 static images that serve as like a companion banner to the audio spot. So the spot itself is not clickable. However, the companion banner is clickable. You can see the target markets we're going after. Again, very similar to what we are offering with display and video and native. And the investment levels. So if you do the full market, so all the kind of outer markets for a 2-week campaign, it's just over $5,000. If you just do in market, and we have Green Bay Appleton listed, obviously Door County falls within that DMA, within that market. So Door County would be included in that. But to just do Door County is a little bit more challenging because of the scale, just because of the number of people at any given time. It's hard to, you know, estimate how much impressions would actually be available. However, we are offering the Green Bay Appleton market, and so Door County would be included in that. Also new for this year is digital billboard campaigns. So there's kind of two options for this. So this is the first one, and then we'll get to the next one on the next slide. The first option is digital billboards, so not static. We wouldn't be printing any vinyls or any of that. It'd be all digital in the Green Bay Appleton market. So, you know, obviously, I'm sure you guys all drive through those areas and you see, you know, lots of different digital boards. So basically, we've put together a pool of boards, so of 47 digital boards, you know, across the whole market, and we can do 1 or 2-week campaigns. And your ad gets its own slot. This is not a shared rotation with any other co-op partners or even with DDC. This is 100% the business's ad campaign. And you often see on those boards, the ads flip about every 8 seconds. And then there's usually about, you know, 7 to 8, you know, in a pool. So again, but you're not sharing your slot with anyone to be 100% your creative. So we're offering 1-week campaigns or 2-week campaigns, and you can see the costs for that. And creative for this is pretty simple as well. There's only a couple sizes that we need in static images, and just because there's different board sizes. So this is really exciting if you are looking for a really great awareness driver or reach driver. Obviously, digital outdoor is a great way to just get your name out there and get your message out there in the Green Bay Appleton area. So then the next option for outdoor is just in Door County. So Destination Door County has purchased a slot on this digital board for the entire year of 2022. So, obviously they'll be using it, throughout the year for their own messaging, but they are offering up 2-week campaigns. So your message would fall into, a slot in that 2-week time period. So this board, I'm sure you're all familiar with it. It's in Sturgeon Bay, just south of Culver's. It targets northbound traffic, which is great. And again, you'd be part of the DDC rotation. But obviously the cost here is, much less than targeting a full market like Green Bay Appleton. So this is a very affordable in-county option, if this is something that makes sense for the business that you have. Again, you can see below, this is just one ad size because it's just one board. So that's pretty easy. And I don't know, Laura, is there a limit on this one? I don't remember. Like how many?
Yes, it'll be broken out in quarters. So.
Okay. And then can they buy more than one? Yeah. Okay. The campaign previous to this one, the digital outdoor in Green Bay Appleton is also, I mean, there's really no limit to how many because you're not sharing it with another ad partner. So you can buy as many, 2-week campaigns as you want to buy.
Okay. Thank you, Julie. All right, so we're going to go into web, social, and video to finish out the presentation. So we are offering, once again, this is the monthly newsletter. It's an opportunity that we have offered for quite some time. And one of the best things about this is the reason it's such a sought after opportunity is because it is really reaching a high value customer. A lot of the people that are opting into this newsletter, they genuinely want to learn about what's new and what's going on in Door County, or potentially they've never been and they're really curious about what they can do in Door County for their first visit. So it's a great loyal kind of following, I guess, if you can put it that way. We do have over 230,000 subscribers. And then our average open rate is about 29%, and that's up from the industry average, which is about 20. Average click-through rate is 4.17%. And the way that we do this is at the beginning of each month, the newsletter does go out to our subscribers. And then a couple days later, if there's anybody that has not opened that initial send, we do a remail. So we send it to those non-openers in the hopes that they'll open. And then the newsletter is also accessible via doorcounty.com. So you can see in the main navigation at the top of our website, you can access the newsletter. And it does change out every month. So each month is, it does kind of, we used to have it up on the site continually, but now it's just going to be for that particular month. The two options that we're offering are the tried and true that we've done for some time now is the local highlights and events feature, and then the business spotlight. So the local highlights and events feature has shifted a little bit just due to COVID, because this used to be very specific to events, and we kind of opened it up a little bit to local highlights when events weren't necessarily happening. So now we've gone to kind of a combination of that. So if you do have an event you want to feature, it's a great place to do that. But if you're a business and you'd rather do the local highlights, that's an option too. You can see what it includes: name of business or event, a short description, and then it links directly to your website. So it's a great way to drive traffic. It does have a max of 6 features per newsletter, and the partner investment for this is $175. And you can see in the visual there where the local highlights are, what you would get for that. And then the business spotlight, really that's just a little bit more real estate in the newsletter. So you're going to get a photo, business name, short description, and again, it will link directly to your website. And this one, we have a max of 4 partners per newsletter, and this partner investment is $375. So like I said, we get a lot of partners that sign up for this just because it's really getting in front of the people that are really genuinely interested in Door County, planning trips to Door County, and just want to know what's going on. So next up is our spotlight feature. Again, this is something we might be in our 4th or 5th year offering this. And this year we are offering the feature on our events page and also our lodging page. So you can see in the visual that you'll get included above the listings on those particular pages. So it's that blue box with the photo included. So you will be the first one to appear for the week that you're running. It includes your event or business name, photo, logo, URL to your website, and then 150 characters of description. As far as the event spotlight goes, it's the third most viewed page on doorcounty.com in 2021. And it's accessible via our mega navigation on the website. And then there's also a homepage call out about two-thirds of the way down. Of course, you can get to the events page in a number of different ways, but those are just kind of the main ways once you land on doorcounty.com, how people can get there. There's one spotlight feature per week, so you're the only one running. And it does go from Monday to Monday. And then there's only one spotlight feature per month allowed per partner. And then as far as lodging goes, you can see in the visual, there's a green Book Now button at the top right corner of the page. So this Book Now button lives on every page on doorcounty.com. And so when people click on that, that is going to drive them to the lodging page, and that's where your feature is going to live. And again, it will look very much like the events listing. So you're going to be above all of the lodging properties that fall underneath. And then of course, the same goes, it's a week long, you're the only one running, and you're allowed one per month. And the partner investment for these opportunities both are $350. And then moving into social, the first one that we offer is our Facebook posts. We do have about 131,000 followers on Facebook. And we do offer 50 words of copy, image or video, link to your website and your Facebook handle. And you can just kind of see an example of Open Hearth Lodge, what those might look like. We do have a limit of one co-op post per week on Facebook, and partners are limited to one post per month. And then as far as imagery goes, just make sure that you're using high resolution, high quality images, make sure they're engaging. We ask that no logos or text is included in the imagery. And then of course, we'll have kind of final say just to make sure those images follow our brand guidelines. We typically don't ever have an issue with that, but just have to include that just in case. And if you do sign up for a Facebook post and an Instagram post, which we'll go into next, there is a $25 discount for that. So the partner investment for just one Facebook post is $300. And then next up is an Instagram post. This includes 50 words of copy, image or video. Your Instagram handle within the copy will tag your location and your account, and then you can include hashtags if you want as well. Partners, it's very similar to Facebook. You're limited to one post per month. There's one post available per week. Same thing with imagery. Make sure that it's high quality, it's engaging, it's going to catch people's attention. And you do get that $25 discount with Facebook and Instagram. Something to keep in mind with this, if any of you on this presentation aren't familiar, so with an Instagram post, we aren't able to link to your website. So you want to make sure that you've just got a really great visual that might prompt them to go into your Instagram account and find more information. And the partner investment for that is $225. And then we do have Instagram stories. That is basically it's getting a really engaged audience on Door County Instagram account. And these Instagram stories last for 24 hours. So using Instagram stories for marketing allows you to tap into an active user base with a variety of features and creativity. So this opportunity includes 20 words of copy, an image or a quick 15-second video, Instagram handle within the copy or the story, location and account tag, hashtags if you want to include that. And then the difference here is that with Instagram stories, we are able to link to your website. So even though that story only lasts 24 hours, we are able to drive users to your website. So again, this is very similar to the other social opportunities, limited to one story per month. There's only one story allowed per week. They do disappear after 24 hours. And like I said, you do have the chance to drive traffic to your website using this opportunity. Also, stories are discoverable, so you don't necessarily have to follow Door County in order to see these stories, which is really nice because you might get in front of some people that aren't quite familiar. And then, of course, same thing with imagery or video, make sure that it's high resolution and no logos or image included in the photos. And then, of course, we'll have the right to refuse if it doesn't follow the brand guidelines. And then the partner investment for that is $150. Okay, and then the last one, I think, again, we've been maybe doing this for 4 or 5 years. We are offering, again, our video in the lobby of Destination Door County's Welcome Center. So what this includes is a 30-second spot, and preferred, you send a YouTube link. So that's just a little bit easier to work with. But we have some software called App Droplet, and we're able to upload those videos, and then they just run for the period of time that you've signed up for right in our lobby. The 30-second video will be in rotation with the other advertisers and a max of 3 Destination Door County videos. Typically, it ends up being closer to 2 that we run at that time. So you're getting a pretty good rotation there. And then as far as partner investment goes, $1,000 if you want to run for the whole year, $100 per 4-week flight. I would say that's probably the most popular that partners go for. Or if you have just something you want to share, you have an event coming up or anything like that, you could do $50 per week. And then we included some numbers in our Welcome Center. You can see 2020 and 2021 just to kind of get a sense of what you're looking at for traffic in the Welcome Center. And it's just a great way because, obviously the visitor is here and they're looking for things to do. If you are a business that's an activity or attraction, and you want to get in front of the people that are already here and they're looking for something to do to fill their day, this is a great way to do that. So. All right. And then, so that completes all of our opportunities that we're offering. We always include this just so you can kind of see what other opportunities through DDC outside of the co-op program that you can do to help give your business a little more exposure or just get a little bit more involved in what we do and just kind of elevate your business a little. So do take a look at those different opportunities as well. And then last but not least, this is just some information. So you should have seen an email. I think I've gotten some contracts from some of you on this call, but we did send out an email yesterday and it included the contract and the presentation and the plan. So make sure you get those contracts to me. And I've got a nice little stack on my desk. So I'll start addressing those and just make sure that I connect with you once I'm able to confirm what we can offer and based on availability too. So just make sure you get those contracts in right away. So that's that. And I will open it up to any questions if anybody has any questions at all for Julie or myself. No questions? Oh,
hi, I had a quick question
Sure.
on the photography. How much control over creative direction? I know you mentioned that there was only one location during the selected date for that photo shoot, but how much creative direction can we give over what the photographer is shooting, or is it just they kind of show up and can determine?
No, you can have a lot of creative control. I mean, it's your business. So we want to make sure that you're getting what you want with that photo shoot. So you can absolutely connect with Dan and just as long as it fits within that hour-and-a-half time frame roughly, I'm sure he's open to whatever you want to see or whatever you need for your business.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
Laura, I would add on that front, what might be helpful, just because many probably on the call haven't had the chance to do one of those yet, is developing a shot list and just kind of a must, like your priorities first. And then if you have an extra 20 minutes, where do you want to go? What do you want to get? That helps the photographer a lot. In addition, if there are any other property photos or things that you like that you've seen that other properties have done, to share with the photographer for style or things like that, that stuff is very valuable to a photographer, so they can just get a sense of what you're hoping for before they show up on your property or your business location.
Thank you, Stephanie. Anybody else? Okay. All right. Well, if after this presentation you come up with any other questions or just want to chat and talk through some things, certainly give me a call, send me an email. I'll be available, of course, all day today and tomorrow to finish out the week. So please just reach out anytime. And I just really appreciate you all being here. So thanks for coming to our Zoom.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
You too, Laura.
Thanks. Bye.